Sports Video Group's Jason Dachman. We're at the NAB Show in Las Vegas, and I'm with Sports Broadcasting Hall of Famer Larry Thorpe of Canon. Larry, thanks so much for taking the time. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure to be here.
So, Canon, you guys, of course, always one of the biggest presences at NAB. This year, no different. Plenty of new lenses, some new camcorders. First, let's talk about the UHDgc lenses that you announced just before NAB opened. Yeah. Why is that a difference maker? Why do you think that's a game changer for you guys?
Well, starting last year, we rapidly expanded our portable lenses. We introduced 8 between NAB and IBC last year. We're adding 2 more at this NAB. We've 2 levels in terms of cost performance. These 2 are at the lower level, they're lower priced. And one is a 15 by 8.5 and the other is an 18 by 28. That's a telephoto lens, goes out to 500 millimeters.
And that's new this year, but there's another lens that debuted at IBC and has been extremely exciting for the sports crowd. We saw it at the Conference Championship for the NFL. We saw it at the Super Bowl, the 122 by. Right. Tell us a little bit about that and the splash you think it's going to make at NAB.
Well, it's a second-generation lens that we put a tremendous amount of effort into it based on comments we got on our first-generation long-zoom 4K lenses. And this was everything to do with performance. Most important, though, it was the creative aspects of it, the longer focal length, the wider angles of view, the reduction of image stabilization, and the addition of some nice features like ARIA, which we worked with Sony to come up with a way to control ramping, eliminate ramping, and also the peripheral illumination across the lens, flatten it out. So the shading is done dynamically by Sony inside under control of information from our lens. All very exciting stuff, makes a very, very interesting lens. And it has a brother, a 111 by for those who don't need the super telephoto. So both lenses are here.
Sure. And what else do we have on the lens front this year? Anything else exciting?
Yes, we do. In the cinema side, in the Super 35 full frame, we are introducing our first set of primes that are PL mount. But we gained a lot of input over the last 5 or 6 years in the cinema world from the creative side, the DPs and the directors and that, all seeking some way of controlling the look of facial close-ups. So these lenses have a very, very beautiful effect. They are called a sumire prime. Sumire is a Japanese word reflective of a flower. The flower opens, becomes beautiful. When our aperture opens and you do a facial close-up, we do very nice things to skin texture of regardless of gender, age, ethnicity. Very, very well worth looking at.
Great, great. And on the camcorder side, there's a new 4K camcorder in play, right?
Well, there's 4 new
there you go.
camcorders. This is in the XA series, which has been our compact series up to now in the 1080p, etc. But this time we're leaping into 4K with these sets. So the XA 45 and 40. That's the only difference between those two is the 45 has a 3G SDI output, brings out uncompressed signals, but it's 4K internal recording to 2 SD cards. It has a 20:1 by zoom. It has a small image format, 1/2.3 inch. And it has 4 channels of audio, so it's a fully professional pair of camcorders. Then there's the big brother, the XA55 and XA50. Again, the difference between them is the 55 has the 3G SDI. This is a 1-inch format, single sensor 1-inch format, and this has the dual pixel autofocus built into that image sensor. And this gives 4K recording with 2 codecs, XF-AVC or the normal, and that's with an MX file wrapper, or just MPEG-4 AVC with an MP4 wrapper, so your choice. All of these, while you're recording SD cards, we give you outputs of 1920 by 1080 422 10-bit, which is very nice for uncompressed external recording.
Well, I appreciate the time, Larry, because I know that there's lots more you could be talking about as well. Sure.
We did introduce this at IBC. I'm seeing here for the first time big brother in camcorders, 4K cameras, the XF705. Sure. This is a 1-inch, and this is very, very interesting in that it has 2 codecs, one being the HEVC. And this allows you to record 4K, 422, 10-bit, 60 frames per second onto an SD card. 2 SD cards. Really worth looking at.
Right, and bringing it to the masses, yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah. Well, Larry, you could spend an entire day of the show at the Canon booth, so I really appreciate you taking the time, giving us a little bit of a tease there. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
And stay tuned to sportsvideo.org for all the latest news from the NAB show in Las Vegas.